Hi everyone, Paul Akers. This video is entitled The Art of Screwing Up. So I'm in a beautiful Japanese garden in Hiroshima right now, and it is stunning. And in the background you see a tree that did not grow straight up like the one next to it, but actually grew out like that. And I got a feeling that that was probably a mistake, maybe a storm, maybe even a Japanese gardener thought, what happens if I plant a tree at an angle like this? Wouldn't that create a beautiful canopy out over the water? So in life, and particularly in lean, we're running experiments all the time. We're always trying to find out what works and what doesn't work. And what I've found in my life is that most of the things I do actually don't work, but I learn from them, just like maybe the Japanese gardener learned from planting that tree at an angle like that. And really the purpose behind lean is to learn, not necessarily to improve. That's a given. That's the byproduct of learning. So think about that. Improvement is the byproduct of learning. You're really creating a learning organization that's willing to run experiments all day long. That's all I do. Most of my experiments or improvements actually fail, but it doesn't bother me because I learn. You know, I've been working for, I think, 8 years on making arch supports for my big flat feet, and I finally figured out how to do it. I took a pair of cheap, inexpensive Birkenstocks and cut around it and made an arch support. Now, I've done many iterations of this. I've spent a fortune on carbon fiber inserts. I have spent more money trying to figure out my feet, and I finally figured it out after maybe 8 years of trying. Run the experiment, learn. This is what it's all about. I asked some of my people at my company to give an example of how they run experiments and they fail and they learn. So here's some of my people explaining the processes that they go through every day.
Hey, this is Tyler at FastCap. We like to run the experiment all the time here. We fail numerous times and we always learn from it. An example of that is this is our smart cleat. Now we have one customer that wants them cut into 3-inch pieces with these 2 little mounting holes in them. So we ran into some issues on how we're going to mass produce this quickly and efficiently. Well, we ran through countless different iterations of the process, whether it be drilling all the holes in the stick and then trying to cut them, but that was taking way too long. So then we drilled all the holes in the stick, stacked them up 5, and then tried to cut them, but then we were running into tolerance stack up issues. It wasn't lining up. We just could not get the parts right and quick. We came up with some drill press jigs. Paul came up with a foot pedal for a drill press. I mean, we were just brainstorming left and right on how to get these little suckers made. Well, we finally came up with a good process. We stacked these up 5 deep, cut them on the chop saw, and then we take this stack of 5 and load it right into the CNC, clamp it real hard, and drill all the holes at the same time. And this ensured that our holes were in the right place. There was no tolerance stack ups, but it took us a lot of iterations and a lot of different times, a lot of failures to learn how to do it correctly and efficiently.
Hey, Lucas here with FastCap. All day, every day at work, I'm experimenting with different ideas, trying to make improvements, and I only make videos for you guys to see most of the time when I actually succeed, but at least half the time, I'm really failing, and when I do, it's the best part because I get to learn a lot and find out ways not to do it. So here's an example. I've been playing with this one for over a week now, and so far have failed a bunch of different ways. So this is our dust barrier door, and it works great except in a negative pressure situation like a hospital wing where you have a lot of air moving through the door, and in that situation, when you walk through it and you spread the magnets apart, it doesn't actually want to come all the way back together and snap shut together right. So I've been experimenting with a bunch of different ways to fix this. I've taken doors and sewed different magnets, stronger magnets, put a bunch of magnets down at the bottom. This one here is my most recent failure. This one I tried putting steel rods at the bottom to try to give it some more weight to fight pressure. I've been over here with an actual leaf blower, imitating negative pressure situations, testing all of this out, and so far I've come up with a bunch of ways that this doesn't work. But I'm still working on it. I'm hoping to come up with something great. And in the process, I've come up with a bunch more cool improvements that you might see coming out soon, just playing with it. So experimenting is the best way to go. If you're not failing, you're definitely never going to succeed.
So I'm in a beautiful Japanese garden, and I come up to this trash can. I go, this is crazy. Why did someone put a bike wheel on here? And it's locked on there. Why would someone do that? Because the birds can't get in there. but the spokes allow you to still put your trash in, right? But if you need to put something bigger in, you can lift it up and put it down. Run the experiment. You never know what you'll discover. So don't be afraid to fail. Failure is part of it. I've heard some people say, fail often and fail fast. Just learn. It doesn't matter. So just like that Japanese gardener created a beautiful bonsai canopying out over the water, it was probably a mistake. Probably he made many iterations of that before he figured out how to make that happen. And then he said, well, let's just start doing it everywhere. So he starts tilting trees everywhere in this beautiful Japanese garden because he learned by experimenting. There you go. Enjoy.